His little sister was the school's undisputed beauty and top genius. He, on the other hand, was mocked as a useless freeloader living off his sister. When people found out he had awakened only a 3-slot spirit weapon, the ridicule got even louder. His sister comforted him, saying it was fine, he could just hide behind her and patch up the wounded. But he didn't take those words to heart, because only he knew his 3-slot weapon was far more powerful than her 12-slot one. His name was Jiang Xiao, a man who had transmigrated into a world crawling with ghosts and monsters. In this world, everyone could awaken their own spirit weapon and become a spirit master, no matter what kind of weapon it was. The more skill slots it had, the stronger it was. Jiang Xiao recalled his first days after arriving in this strange world. He had run into a middle-parted dog that could play basketball and turn people into superfans through singing and dancing. If he hadn't run fast enough, he would have been brainwashed into one of them. Determined to never fall into such a trap again, he swore he would awaken an ultimate-grade spirit weapon. Today was the school's annual awakening day. Under the teacher's guidance, the students began the awakening ceremony one by one. The first up was a chubby boy who awakened nothing but a rock. The class immediately burst into laughter. The teacher's face darkened, and he barked at them to shut up. He explained that the rock was actually a 7-slot spirit weapon. Hearing that, the class instantly fell silent. No one dared mock the stone again. One by one, the following students failed to surpass the chubby boy's slot count, until a familiar name reached Jiang Zhao's ears. He looked up to see Zhang Hai proudly showing off his 7-slot weapon. Jiang Zhao's gaze turned icy. Ever since Jiang Xiao stopped him from harassing a female classmate, Zhang Hai had been nursing a grudge. Sure enough, the next second Zhang Hai strode up, dripping with sarcasm. Jiang Xiao sneered back. 7 slots? Big deal. Even with 2.5, I could still wipe the floor with you. Soon, it was Jiang Zhao's turn to awaken. He thought to himself, I'm a transmigrator. No way I'm pulling anything less than a golden tier weapon. In the next moment, a pitch-black vortex swirled open beneath his feet. From a spirit stone, a black blade slowly emerged. At first glance, it looked like an ultimate weapon. But the teacher's next words made him feel as if he'd just swallowed a fly. Common grade weapon. 3 skill slots. The moment he said it, Zhang Hai and his buddies burst into mocking laughter. After all, 3 slots was dead last in the entire class. Jiang Xiao returned to his seat, frowning. How could something that looked this intimidating have only 3 skills? Then, dark mist began to seep from the blade, something only he could see. The mist formed a line of text above his head, telling him to look at his shadow. On the floor, his shadow slowly stretched toward the distance. Under his startled gaze, the shadow grinned at him unervingly. More lines of text appeared in the air. Only then did he realize his weapon could devour specters and take their abilities for himself, and it could shatter the slot limit. The stronger the specter he hunted, the greater his power, even to the point of summoning top-tier familiars. The next day, the teacher gathered all the freshmen who had awakened their spirit weapons the day before. He posed a question to the group. When humans fight specters, what do they truly rely on? Zhang Hai immediately blurted out, their spirit weapon. But the teacher shook his head and gave the real answer. Courage. He explained that specters are powerful dead things, capable of stirring mankind's deepest fears for thousands of years. Without the courage to face them, even a 10-slot weapon would be useless. Then he announced the next step, actual combat training. The moment the words left his mouth, the newly awakened students panicked. How are they supposed to fight specters already? Seeing their reaction, the teacher said firmly, if you're scared, you can walk away now. Many, unwilling to take the risk, stepped back. The group of 300 quickly shrank to barely 100. Spotting Jiang Xiao still standing in place, the teacher nodded to himself, impressed by the boy's nerve. He waved for the remaining students to gather at the school gate. Zhang Hai seized the chance to sneer, you're such trash. Going in is as good as signing your death warrant. Jiang Xiao shot back without missing a beat. Then make sure you go in so I can watch you come out in one piece. Zhang Hai actually thought Jiang Xiao was trying to butter him up. But when he heard the words, "With a face like yours, even ghosts would take a detour," his expression darkened instantly. All he could do was glare daggers at Jiang Zhao's back as he walked away. Before long, everyone gathered at the school gate. The teacher began briefing them on various details about specters. Spectre disaster levels were divided into 3 ranks: white, green, and red. Among them, the powerful red-ranked specters could massacre an entire area at will, while certain higher-grade wraiths could wipe a city off the map. The teacher then announced that whoever killed the most specters this time would be rewarded with a green-grade soul orb. At those words, the students' eyes lit up with excitement. Even the school beauty, Bai Qimeng, declared that she would claim the green-grade soul orb for herself. After all, she was a genius who had awakened 9 skill slots. Once everyone arrived at the testing grounds, many students immediately flocked to Bai Qimeng, eager to team up with her to complete the mission. Jiang Xiao was the only one who chose to act alone. His goal was to keep his shadow from being exposed under so many watchful eyes. The teacher then handed each student a jade vial, used to store the soul water dropped after slaying specters. With a wave of his hand, the test officially began. Without hesitation, Jiang Xiao stepped into the forest alone. The teacher found himself musing. If this kid has the talent, he's a natural-born leader. Zhang Hai, on the other hand, wore a look of disdain. Certain Jiang Xiao would be the first to die. Meanwhile, Jiang Xiao moved deeper into the forest. It was his first time hunting specters, so a bit of nervousness was inevitable. Suddenly, a shrill, chilling laugh froze him in his tracks. He hadn't expected to be targeted this quickly. In the blink of an eye, the specter appeared right behind him. Its withered hand landed on his shoulder, and with a twisted grin, the ghostly face asked if he knew where its eyes had fallen. Startled, Jiang Xiao smacked its hand away. In the same motion, he slashed his blade across its body. The specter was dispatched with ease. Moments later, a blue soul orb formed in midair. The moment Jiang Xiao absorbed the soul orb, a sudden whirlwind swept across the area. In an instant, wandering spirits emerged from the shadows, surrounding him on all sides. From their twisted faces, countless black threads began to spill out. Within seconds, the threads wrapped tightly around him, binding his movements. Though startled, he quickly realized they were only low-level spirits. With a few swift strikes, Jiang Xiao cut through the threads, then decided to go all in, slashing wildly through the spirits. In mere seconds, he had wiped them all out. This skirmish alone earned him a third of a vial of soul water. He had no idea how much the others had collected so far. After all, he was working alone. Bai Qimeng had a full team with her, and if all those simps were funneling their soul orbs to her, he'd have no chance of claiming the green-grade soul orb. As he was mulling over his next move, his shadow began to rise slowly from the ground, signaling for him to head deeper in and seek out the white mist for greater rewards. Jiang Xiao quickly sensed that the shadow was deliberately trying to lure him forward. He refused without hesitation. White-rank specters need at least a first-tier spirit master to handle. Going there is suicide. But the shadow gave another prompt. If he turned back, he wouldn't just lose the green-grade orb. He'd also fail the selection for the Celestial Palace. And to dispel his doubts, the shadow began to morph into a human form. It told Jiang Xiao that as long as he found the white mist specter, it would help finish the job. Then it vanished without a trace. With that promise, Jiang Xiao knew there was no way he was letting the green-grade soul orb slip away. Following its guidance, he arrived at an old, weathered graveyard. Suddenly, thick white mist began to rise all around him. He instantly realized he'd walked right into a trap. In the next moment, a massive ghostly silhouette loomed behind him. With just one blow, it sent him sprawling to the ground. Its claws shot forward, clamping tightly around his neck. A chilling "ja-ja-ja" laugh echoed in his ears. Before his eyes, the specter's form twisted into that of a sinister old man. Dark energy poured into Jiang Zhao's body. while his life force was being drained away. His vision blurred, and a black claw loomed larger and larger before him. In an instant, several shadowy figures appeared behind the white mist specter, wrapping tightly around it and breaking its hold on him. Seeing the specter completely restrained, Jiang Shao charged forward to deliver the finishing blow. With a wet slash, his dagger pierced straight through its chest. As the mist slowly dissipated, the threat was finally gone. A cold shiver ran down his spine. Without the shadow's help, he'd have been done for. But as he regained his composure, his eyes widened in disbelief. The white mist specter had vanished without leaving a trace. Jiang Shao looked down at his shadow, suspecting it had swallowed the soul orb. He immediately shouted, "Hey, you damn shadow! Get out here! Spit out that soul orb! You've eaten the meat, at least leave me some soup." But instead, it prompted him to look at his right hand. One glance, and he almost jumped in shock. His palm had become withered and dry. Then, thick white mist began pouring from it. Within this swirling fog, his vision remained perfectly clear, and he could control the mist at will. Normally, you'd have to embed a soul orb into your spirit weapon as a medium to harness a specter's power. But to his surprise, Jiang Shao could bypass all that and use the white mist specter's ability directly. With this power, he could mask his presence and hunt specters freely for the rest of the test. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the forest, a specter was sliced clean in two. The strike came from none other than the genius school beauty, Bai Qiming. Her team's coordination was flawless, allowing them to gather large amounts of soul water in a short time. To secure their victory, they needed to hunt even more spirits within the remaining 2.5 hours to catch the attention of the Celestial Palace. On the other side, Zhang Hai's group was entangled by vines conjured by the spirits. The vines multiplied quickly, tightening their grip. They had no choice but to retreat. Jiang Shao, however, continued hunting for targets. After cutting down group after group of wandering spirits, the vial in his hand was nearly filled with soul water. With dawn still a while away, Jiang Shao knew he had to find more wandering spirits while he could. Behind him, his shadow seemed almost eager, curious to see just how far this boy could grow. By early the next morning, the test had finally come to an end. Seeing Tiedan's relieved expression, Zhang Hai felt certain that he was the one truly cut out to be a spirit master. He was the first to hand his vial over to the teacher for inspection. With 4/5 of it filled, he earned the teacher's approval. Just then, a stir rippled through the crowd. Bai Qiming appeared with her loyal simp squad in tow and handed over the results of their hunt. The teacher praised her first time facing specters, and she had taken down 10 of them, making her the current top performer. Smiling at the praise, Bai Qiming couldn't wait to ask for the green-grade soul orb. But a laid-back, hold-on now cut through the moment. Leaning casually against a tree, Jiang Shao said, "Isn't it a bit unfair to declare first place before everyone's back?" When the teacher saw it was Jiang Shao, he noted the boy seemed in good spirits, though he still felt regret over his mediocre potential. Bai Qiming, standing nearby, also thought it was just a waste of time. That was until Jiang Shao handed over his vial. The moment the teacher took it, his whole demeanor sharpened. The vial was filled to the brim with soul water, so full it was nearly overflowing. Zhang Hai immediately accused him of watering it down a cheat. But the teacher shut him down with a single action. After all, soul water from specters can't be mixed with any other liquid. In the end, Jiang Shao was the undeniable first place and received the green-grade soul orb, worth millions. The students began whispering among themselves, "He's always been so low-key. Who knew he was hiding this much strength?" Even Bai Qiming tossed him a parting line, "I'll remember you." Jiang Shao shot back, "And you are?" The teacher, however, stared at him in deep thought. Such results were unheard of in the entire region. Watching the students leave, the teacher recalled that long ago, the Celestial Palace had produced a 3-slot prodigy who single-handedly suppressed an entire ghost domain. Could such a once-in-a-century genius have appeared again? That evening, On the pedestrian street by the Jialing River, Jiang Xiao was making his way home. He hadn't realized how late it had gotten. Normally, the place would be bustling with street vendors and dancing grannies, but tonight it was deserted. Suddenly, an old man appeared behind him, asking, "Young man, do you know where the Sandling Furniture Store is?" The sudden voice made Jiang Xiao jump. He quickly turned and replied, "Sir, what do you need there for? It should be closed at this hour." The old man's eyes glowed faint green as he spoke slowly. My son is the manager there, but he hasn't come home yet. I can't reach him by phone. I'm worried something happened." Jiang Xiao relaxed slightly and said, "Maybe his phone died. You should head home for the night, and if you still can't reach him tomorrow." His words froze mid-sentence as his expression changed sharply. In the lamplight, the old man cast no shadow at all. At that moment, Jiang Xiao nearly wet himself in fear. This old man, he was almost certainly not human. He was a ghost. Jiang Xiao quickly shouted, "Sir, don't move. I'll go find your son to come get you." Before the ghostly old man could react, Jiang Xiao bolted. Moments later, he had sprinted all the way back to his apartment complex, slamming the door shut behind him. His heart pounded and a cold sweat ran down his back. That was way too close. The Sandling Furniture Store had burned down a year ago. Every employee died in the fire, and it's never reopened. That old man must have been a night road ghost. The worst part? Wandering spirits in the northern ghost domains are easy to identify, but the ones that appear in the city, night road ghosts, are far harder to spot. He was still too weak. He couldn't rely on luck every time. He had to get stronger. Just then, his sister's voice pulled him out of his thoughts, asking why he was home so late. She also asked why he was so jumpy. Looking at the girl in front of him, he calmed down. It was Jiang Chan, the biological daughter of his adoptive parents. Seeing the unsettled look on his face, Jiang Chan assumed he'd been scared stupid by a specter. He quickly explained, "No way. Your brother here has already awakened his spirit weapon." Hearing that, she curiously asked how many skill slots he had. When she learned he only had 3, she scoffed, "You'd be better off working in a factory or sweeping the streets than trying to be a spirit master." Jiang Xiao immediately shot back, asking how many slots she had awakened. Her answer stabbed straight into his heart. She had awakened 12 skill slots, and she even said she wouldn't mind giving him a few. With that, she turned and left, heading to her room to rest. She even reminded Jiang Xiao that, as her older brother, he'd better start thinking about how he was going to make a living in the future. The slap to his pride was deafening. Under the same roof, yet the gap between them was this vast. Back in his room, Jiang Xiao took out the green-grade soul orb he'd obtained earlier that day. He planned to absorb it and see what kind of skill he could gain. But midway, his shadow suddenly intervened, demanding the orb for itself. Jiang Xiao refused outright. He still needed a skill worth showing off. Moving quickly, he pressed the orb against his spirit weapon. The orb flared with bursts of green light, and a terrifying energy surged forth, as if it could tear through anything. When Jiang Xiao came to, he found himself stark naked in a strange, isolated space. The energy coiled around the blade in his hand, and a voice echoed in his mind. "Skill acquired, green flash. Consumes 1/3 of your spiritual power. Lasts for 1 minute." Just as he was celebrating gaining a skill strong enough to seriously wound a white-rank specter, the skill slot where the green-grade orb resided began to expand outward. In the blink of an eye, 3 new slots appeared, each in black, white, and blue. The bronze ghost orb could boost power and range. The crow ghost orb could prevent an enemy from casting skills for 3 seconds. And the white mist ghost orb could greatly reduce mana cost and increase casting speed. Jiang Xiao was stunned. These 3 branching abilities were powerful enough to rival the skills of a red-grade soul orb. Red-grade soul orbs were notoriously hard to acquire, with only a 50% chance of successful absorption. Yet Jiang Xiao's spirit weapon had undergone a transformation equal to a red grade's, just from a single green grade orb. Before he could recover from the shock, several beams of light shot up from the ground. merging in the sky into a vast, intricate skill tree. It meant that with enough soul orbs, Jiang Xiao might truly become a top-tier legend. The next day, Qiming approached him at school, offering 3,000 gold coins for his green-grade soul orb. Jiang Xiao scoffed. No orb for her, though he could offer a fresh, organic steamed bun with a side of spit if she wanted. Before Bai Qiming could answer, Zhang Hai jumped in like the loyal simp he was. Know your place. With your bottom-tier talent, keeping it is a waste. Trading with Bai is a blessing. Jiang Xiao replied coolly. Quit licking her boots. She hasn't even said a word. And that green-grade soul orb? Already absorbed. Don't even think about it. Zhang Hai's face twisted in rage. He kicked over Jiang Zhao's desk and barked. Don't think an orb makes you special. With 3 slots, you'll never set foot in the Celestial Palace, no matter how clever you think you are. Even Bai Qiming tossed out a cold parting shot. The road ahead is long. Don't get cocky. Then she turned and walked away without another glance. Jiang Xiao pulled out his phone to look up green-grade orb details. A greenwood ghost orb was worth 5,000 gold coins, and she wanted it for 3,000? Was she ignorant? Or did she just think he was? Just then, there was a knock on the classroom door. The teacher entered, announcing the Celestial Palace admission list. The class erupted. The Celestial Palace list. Someone from our class actually made it. Everyone knew that Spirit Masters admitted they were the most gifted of all. A few lesser-known classmates had their names called, and the last regular slot went to Zhang Hai, who, of course, took the opportunity to throw more shade at Jiang Xiao. But then the teacher paused, as if recalling something, and announced there was still one special admission slot. Under the gaze of the entire class, he slowly read the name, Jiang Xiao. The moment the teacher called Jiang Xiao's name, the room erupted. Special admissions to the Celestial Palace are for absolute monsters with god-tier talent. How can a 3-slot nobody get in? Zhang Hai shot to his feet, shouting, no way. There are fewer than 5 special admissions in the entire city. How can a 3-slot trash like him be one of them? The teacher's expression darkened. Zhang Hai, are you questioning the Celestial Palace's decision? Zhang Hai froze, not daring to breathe. The teacher then instructed all admitted students to head home, pack their things, and prepare to be escorted to the Celestial Palace by official Spirit Masters. As Jiang Xiao walked past Zhang Hai, he said casually, Kid, your face looks like you just swallowed a fly. Zhang Hai ground his teeth so hard they nearly cracked. Jiang Xiao didn't forget to twist the knife. Save your powerless rage. There'll be plenty of chances for you to embarrass yourself later. See you at the Celestial Palace. Back home, a JK-style short skirt suddenly came flying at him. At first, he thought his sister was helping him pack. Instead, she snapped, don't flatter yourself. She was also a special admission to the Celestial Palace. A single family producing 2 special admissions. This was unheard of, but she glanced at a nearby photo and added coolly, I'm just riding on our parents' coattails. Years ago, they had been members of the Dawn Spirit Master Corps. While sealing a massive ghost domain, they sacrificed themselves to save tens of millions of civilians. Jiang Xiao was still full of questions about the Spirit Master Corps. His sister took it upon herself to play the role of tour guide. Think of it like a game, she explained. Different classes working together can create unexpected results. Her own path was that of a long-range, heavy-hitting damage dealer. She waved her hand with a smirk, adding, and you, with your 3 skill slots, should probably just hide in the back and play medic. Jiang Xiao only smiled faintly. 3 slots or not, he could hold his own like an entire squad. The next morning, he and his sister, as special admissions, set out for the Celestial Palace to attend the entrance ceremony. Suddenly, a pretty girl walked up to him with a bright smile. Hey there, classmate. What's your name? Jiang Xiao wasn't about to waste such a golden chance. Hi, I'm Jiang Xiao. Nice to meet you. The girl laughed lightly. Just sitting here is way too boring. Let's chat. My name's Su Xian. My parents are members of the Blue Knight Spirit Master Corps. Jiang Zhao's face lit up with excitement. I know. I've always admired your father. Could you tell me some of his stories? His sister clearly couldn't stand Jiang Zhao's act and immediately started airing out his embarrassing secrets. But Jiang Zhao didn't back down. He pulled every trick he could to get closer to Su Xian, even claiming that his father often wrote about the Blue Knight Spirit Master Corps and praised her father as a remarkable man. Su Xian's eyes lit up. Really? I didn't know so many people knew about my dad. Jiang Zhao smoothly took her hand. I've dreamed since childhood of becoming a spirit master like our parents. If we'd met earlier, maybe we could have gotten to know each other before the class assignments. His sister, watching from the side, could only roll her eyes. Just then, an unusual presence spread through the bus. They had been driving through the Yuqing tunnel for half an hour, yet there was still no sign of an exit. Even Su Xian noticed that her phone had completely lost signal. To make matters worse, the temperature inside the bus plummeted. Staring into the endless darkness ahead, Jiang Zhao already knew what was happening. The driver suddenly slammed on the brakes. Everyone realized at once they'd run into a ghost. Most passengers, including Jiang Zhao's sister, instantly summoned their spirit weapons. Suddenly, a timid student spoke up. We're special admissions to the Celestial Palace. All we need to do is wait for the higher-ups to send someone to rescue us. The comment quickly gained support. After all, they were the rising elite of the Spirit Master world. If they were lost here, the Celestial Palace couldn't afford it. Just then, something stirred beneath Jiang Zhao's feet. His shadow whispered a warning. There was an unknown terror lurking in the tunnel, urging him to get off the bus and investigate. Though surprised, Jiang Zhao told the driver to open the door. He then told his sister to come along with him to the restroom. The moment he said it, the bus erupted in protest. One student snapped, "If you two want to die, do it far away from us." Even his sister was puzzled. "Why bring me along?" Jiang Zhao explained. "If something supernatural happens on the way to the Celestial Palace, there's a high chance it's connected to the palace itself." Jiang Zhao added, "For all we know, someone might be watching us from the shadows." As they walked deeper into the tunnel, the ground suddenly became littered with ghost money. Burned offerings scattered across the floor. Their figures grew smaller in the distance. Back on the bus, Su Xian's eyes were full of worry. The others still huddled nervously inside, waiting for rescue. Meanwhile, in a sealed chamber elsewhere, Celestial Palace instructor Jiang Yu was observing the scene through special means, deeply disappointed in those who stayed behind. Spirit masters who hide in a bus during a crisis, waiting for someone else to save them? Pathetic. Even if you have to bite with your teeth or claw with your hands, you make sure those ghosts learn. Humans are not to be trifled with. Still, he noted, there were two youngsters who had shown real courage. Upon learning they were the children of Jiang Cheng, the second in command of the Dawn Corps, and that the sister, Jiang Chan, had awakened with 12 skill slots. Jiang Yu's eyebrows rose. 12 skill slots. He decided then and there to send a white mist ghost to test the girl's courage. At Jiang Yu's command, thick white mist began to swirl around Jiang Zhao and Jiang Chan. Jiang Zhao recognized the feeling instantly. He summoned his spirit weapon, shielding his sister behind him. "White mist ghost, coming in," he warned. Jiang Chan's eyes widened in shock. She couldn't understand why a white-grade ghost would appear in a Celestial Palace entrance test. But there was no time to think. She had to stay on full alert. Jiang Zhao tightened his grip on his blade. With his green-grade skill ready, the moment the white mist ghost showed itself, he would unleash green light flash to cripple it. Suddenly, an icy chill crept up from behind. The white mist ghost appeared silently right in front of Jiang Chan. In the blink of an eye, it snatched her away. Jiang Zhao reacted instantly, pushing his spirit weapon to its limits, and charged forward without hesitation toward the ghost. In the next heartbeat, he unleashed his strongest skill, green light flash. A wet, tearing sound rang out as the white mist ghost let out a blood-curdling scream. Moments later, Jiang Chan was safely back at his side. The fog in the tunnel thickened even further, and worry began to show on Jiang Chan's face. Jiang Zhao quickly reassured her, "Don't be afraid. As long as I'm here, nothing will happen to you." Her eyes glistened with tears at his words. In the monitoring room, Jiang Yu watched the mist on the screen grow unnaturally dense. His expression darkened. This wasn't natural. Someone was deliberately adding to it. To prevent the situation from spiraling out of control, he decided to head to the scene himself. Meanwhile, Jiang Xiao was moving through the fog, searching for the white mist ghost. Better to strike first than wait to be hunted. Soon he spotted his target. Without hesitation, he swung with full force, slashing across the ghost's back. The impact felt like hitting solid metal. It did nothing. It seemed he would have to wait for green light flash to come off cooldown, but that risked something going wrong in the meantime. Then, an idea struck him. In a blur, Jiang Xiao slipped deeper into the thick fog, while the white mist ghost was still reeling in confusion. Jiang Xiao locked onto the angle through the fog and burst forward. If he could strike precisely at the wound left by green light flash, he could finish it off. A blood-curdling scream tore through the mist as the white mist ghost was cleaved clean in half. A soul orb floated gently in the air. The fight had drained a great deal of his energy, but with this soul orb, he could evolve green light flash. And on a battlefield where seconds mattered, a 2.5-minute cooldown was far too long. Jiang Chan rushed over, urgently asking how it went. But Jiang Zhao's expression shifted. Something was wrong. From deep within the mist came a far stronger presence, along with a low, chilling voice. So, you took down a white-grade ghost so quickly. There must be another one here. The newcomer was none other than Jiang Yu, an instructor from the Celestial Palace. Jiang Xiao quickly slipped the soul orb into Jiang Chan's hand. With a grin, he told Jiang Yu, "That was all my sister's doing." Jiang Yu praised Jiang Chan a few times, then instructed the siblings to return to the bus, assuring them he would personally escort them to the Celestial Palace. As the two walked away, Jiang Yu thought to himself, Jiang Chan was a rare talent, high aptitude and strong combat skills. Jiang Xiao, on the other hand, was just lucky, riding on his sister's coattails. Gathering everyone in front of the bus, he reprimanded them sharply. "You're supposed to be special admissions, yet at the first sign of trouble you all cower like frightened children. Your forebears would be ashamed." The students hung their heads in shame. Jiang Yu's tone softened slightly. Still, there were some surprises. You two showed real courage. Especially you, Jiang Chan, taking down a white-grade ghost at your age is no small feat. He added with a nod, as expected of Jiang Cheng's daughter. "I'll be keeping an eye on you. Keep up the good work." Back on the bus, Jiang Chan kept a stern face, clearly unhappy that Jiang Xiao had given her all the credit. Jiang Xiao quickly explained, "You're the 12-slot prodigy. Even if they knew the truth, all you'd get is a pat on the back. No real rewards." Jiang Xiao added, "If it were you, this placement score would guarantee you a top rank." Though moved, Jiang Chan still firmly shoved the soul orb back into his hand. Jiang Xiao didn't refuse again. This was the perfect chance to enhance his green light flash. As the soul orb resonated with his spirit weapon, his consciousness was once more drawn into that mysterious, otherworldly space. Even knowing it would create new branches, seeing them with his own eyes still left him awestruck. On the existing skill branches, fresh extensions began to grow. The green slot could be fitted with an underworld ghost soul orb, tripling movement speed. The black slot could take a water ghost soul orb, stacking marks that could be detonated. The more marks, the higher the damage. The white slot could be fitted with a hanging ghost soul orb, splitting the attack into 3 sinister light strikes. Jiang Xiao studied the skill tree, knowing full well, no matter which path he chose, green light flash could evolve to rival a red-grade soul orb. But acquiring the required orbs wouldn't be easy, especially the hanging ghost, classified as a red-grade spirit. He muttered a complaint about this damn setting. Just then, the atmosphere inside the bus suddenly grew excited. The vehicle had entered Skynet Town, home of the Celestial Palace. Soon, everyone was gathered in the central square. Elite recruits from across the regions were present, including Jiang Zhao's 2 old rivals, Zhang Hai and Bai Qiming. On the high platform stood the instructors who would be training them in the future. Jiang Chan, however, looked visibly uncomfortable, as most of the instructors were eyeing her from head to toe. Jiang Xiao grinned. Don't be afraid. You're the prize everyone wants. They'd recruit you into their class this instant if they could. But Jiang Chan shot back. That white mist ghost was your kill. Jiang Xiao ruffled her hair. This time I covered for you. Next time, you cover for me. Call it even. On the platform, Jiang Yu's expression darkened. He thought to himself, better separate these two before this boy keeps clinging to her like a lifeline. The chubby guy behind Jiang Xiao smirked. Jiang Yu, your eyes haven't left that girl since we got here, have they? Jiang Yu, noticing the man's target was also Jiang Chan, sneered and challenged him to a duel. A female instructor nearby couldn't take it anymore. Jiang Yu, you really have no shame. Wangi's a support-type spirit master with maybe 2 attack skills, and you still want to fight him? Jiang Yu's veins bulged in irritation. I've had my eye on Jiang Chan for a while. Before we even entered Skynet Town, she was already my student. The argument escalated quickly, and at first the onlookers assumed it was just an academic debate. Then, to everyone's shock, the two men summoned their spirit weapons, ready to throw down right there. Just as things were about to spiral out of control, a loud clang echoed across the square. An elderly man radiating immense authority appeared before them. At the gates of the Celestial Palace, such antics will not be tolerated. Both of you stand down. His sharp gaze then shifted, locking onto Jiang Xiao and Jiang Chan. As the elder strode toward them, Jiang Zhao's heart clenched. Had the man already noticed something unusual about him? But when he heard the elder simply tell Jiang Chan to choose her own class, he let out a quiet sigh of relief. Phew, at least his secret was safe. No sooner had the elder left than a female instructor eagerly stepped forward, extending an olive branch to Jiang Chan. She promised that under her tutelage, Jiang Chan would one day become a legendary spirit master of at least the 5th tier. Fatty Wang he immediately cut in, save the sales pitch. If Jiang Chan joins my class, I'll give her 3 blue-grade soul orbs right now. The other instructors refused to be outdone, raising the offer to 5 blue-grade soul orbs. Jiang Xiao was just about to agree on his sister's behalf when Jiang Yu ground his teeth, cursing inwardly at these old foxes trying to poach her. With a cold snort, he raised one finger. 1 hanging ghost soul orb. She comes with me. Jiang Zhao's eyes widened. The hanging ghost soul orb ranked 7th among red-grade orbs and was worth a staggering 7 million gold coins. The 2 other instructors broke into a cold sweat. Jiang Yu had been stuck at the 3rd-tier bottleneck for years, and without that orb, he'd lose his best shot at breaking through. Jiang Xiao turned to look at Jiang Chan. As much as he wanted that soul orb for himself, he refused to interfere with her decision. Jiang Chan suddenly spoke up. I have a question for Instructor Jiang Yu. Can my brother be in the same class as me? Jiang Yu froze as if struck by lightning, then scoffed. A 3-slot rookie drags down any team he's in. Jiang Chan's eyes flickered. She seemed to have realized something. She turned to join the female instructor's class. But Jiang Yu panicked. He'd already spent heavily. Was he really going to lose her over 1 speck of mouse droppings? Even if that boy had only 1% talent, with her other 99%, it would be worth it. Gritting his teeth, he barked, both of you my class. Jiang Xiao could only think of himself as the 3-slot freebie in the deal. Jiang Yu, however, silently vowed to find a way to put this boy in his place. That afternoon, the class gathered at the training arena. Jiang Yu began his lecture. A spirit master's strength comes from soul orbs. The same skill can have a massive gap in power depending on one's cultivation tier. Hoping to embarrass Jiang Xiao in front of everyone, he called him up to demonstrate. Upon learning Jiang Zhao's skill was Green Light Flash, Jiang Yu immediately summoned his own spirit weapon. Thinking, for a 1st-tier spirit master, that skill's cooldown is at least 2.5 minutes. For someone not even at 1st tier, it's probably over 5 minutes. But Jiang Xiao calmly replied, Instructor, my cooldown is only 30 seconds. Jiang Yu was stunned. He himself, a 3rd-tier spirit master, had only just managed to get close to that number. Jiang Yu forced a stiff smile. Keep working on it. Clearing his throat, he announced that everyone would now engage in one-on-one sparring. No way was he going to admit Jiang Xiao was special. Soon, the training arena echoed with the sounds of clashing weapons as students paired off to fight. Spotting Jiang Xiao having a little too much fun on the sidelines, Jiang Yu decided to have Jiang Chan demonstrate the hand-to-hand form he had just taught her. Her movements flowed seamlessly, each strike crisp and precise, drawing praise from all around. Jiang Xiao stepped forward to hand his sister some water, and Jiang Yu ground his teeth, convinced the brat was just basking in her glory. Unable to swallow his irritation, he arranged for a burly student to spar with Jiang Xiao. Jiang Xiao, having spent most of his recent fights against ghosts, was more than happy to test himself on a real person. He smirked, "Don't blame me if I hit too hard." Jiang Yu grinned smugly. "Don't worry. No matter how bad you get hurt, old Wang here can patch you up with his blessing skill." At that moment, the shadow beneath Jiang Xiao stirred, whispering a reminder. Swallowing the white mist ghost had given him far more than just mist form. He should attack with everything he had. Lost in thought, he barely noticed the burly opponent closing in. In the man's startled gaze, Jiang Xiao flashed forward, vanishing from sight and reappearing behind him. Every flaw in the man's stance stood out in perfect clarity. If Jiang Xiao wished, he could end a man's life right now. But then a cold, vicious, killing intent surged into his mind. A whisper urging him, kill him. His eyes snapped wide open. He drove his fist forward, the strike carrying a terrifying pressure that crashed toward the man. Jiang Yu's face went pale. There was no stopping it in time. At the last instant, Jiang Xiao wrestled back a shred of reason, forcing his fist to veer off course, though the sheer force left the man pale and shaken. Had it landed, it would have been fatal. While the onlookers erupted in praise, Jiang Xiao knew this was no victory. Just now, he had genuinely wanted to kill his opponent. A warm hand closed over his wrist. Jiang Chan, seeing his tense expression, leaned closer to ask if he was all right. When he nodded, she turned to shout at the crowd, "You people don't get it. My brother doesn't need your approval." Jiang Yu's expression darkened. 3 skill slots, yet power like this? Did I misjudge him? As Jiang Chan pulled Jiang Xiao away, a pair of cold eyes in the crowd locked onto him. No mistake, that aura. It's him I've been searching for. Night fell over the apartments near Tianji Palace. The landlord, claiming Jiang Xiao hadn't paid a deposit in advance, had rented out his reserved room to someone else. Jiang Chan, who had handed him the rent money just 2 days ago, froze for a moment. Then her expression turned cold. She looked ready to blow up on the spot. The landlord casually waved them off, suggesting they try their luck in the suburbs. Before Jiang Xiao could reply, a pale, delicate hand suddenly reached from behind, looping around both him and Jiang Chan, and a soft voice offered, "I got a spare room you can rent." The sudden closeness made Jiang Chan step back warily, demanding to know who she was. Only after the girl explained she was a student from Unit 1086 did they lower their guard. The landlord gave her a single glance, then sighed in a strangely knowing tone. "Looks like this room's about to change tenants again." Sitting in the newly rented room later that night, Jiang Xiao replayed the scene in his mind. There was something off about the girl and about this room. The first impression of the room was clean and tidy, yet completely devoid of any sign of life. When Jiang Xiao commented that it was too big and hinted at leaving, the girl hurriedly offered a 50% discount. Once the contract was signed and the rent paid, she spun on her heel and practically vanished down the hall. Jiang Chan watched in disbelief, as if the girl had just dumped a massive problem on them and couldn't wait to escape. Jiang Xiao tried to reassure her. "Nothing strange." She said she was in a hurry. "Getting a place this cheap? That's lucky enough." Hearing this, Jiang Chan relaxed and went to wash up for bed. Jiang Xiao, however, decided to stay alert through the night, just in case something unnatural showed up. In the dead of night, a crisp drip drip echoed through the room, making him jolt upright. He froze, When had he fallen asleep? And who had tucked him in? In the living room, a shadowy figure now stood. The sound of teeth grinding echoed in the silence. Heart pounding, he cautiously called out, "Sis, is that you?" The figure's lips curled into a strange smile. "Yes, I'm your sister." No wonder that girl had bolted. This place was haunted. Jiang Shao instantly drew his spirit weapon, ready to fight. The female ghost spoke first. "Leave my house. You're not welcome here." But then her eyes dropped to the shadow at his feet, and her form flickered and vanished. It seemed she'd been frightened off by the shadow's presence. Though she hadn't attacked, Jiang Shao knew better than to drop his guard. The next morning, Jiang Chan told Jiang Shao about what had happened last night. A ghost had disguised itself to look exactly like him and had been pacing outside her door. Still shaken, she insisted he return the apartment immediately. Jiang Zhao's instincts told him there was more to it. The ghost seemed intent only on driving them away. He looked at his sister and said, "If you're really that scared, maybe the path of a spirit master isn't for you." Before he could finish, a few strands of long hair dropped from above his head. He turned around to see a stunning woman with a striking figure. Feeling a bit caught off guard, he asked, "A classmate, what can I do for you?" She introduced herself as Ji Wanga, a student living in the room next door. She said she'd overheard their conversation, and if needed, she could help deal with the ghost. Jiang Shao quickly sensed that her strength was at least on par with a first-rank spirit master. But before he could respond, Jiang Chan grabbed him by the chin, glaring at him with open hostility, and refused Ji Wanga's offer, while pointedly asking when he'd started chatting up girls. Ji Wanga gave a cold snort and turned away. "Suit yourself. But when that thing comes after you again, don't come crying to me." Just then, Instructor Jiang Yu walked into the classroom. Seeing two prodigy-level beauties both hovering around Jiang Shao, a memory from 10 years ago flashed through his mind. During the Nightmare Ghost Massacre, Ji Wanga had been the sole survivor, saved by Jiang Zhao's parents. Snapping back to the present, he told everyone to return to their seats. He then announced the training plan. Within 3 weeks, everyone had to reach the level of a first-rank spirit master, or they wouldn't even qualify to choose a soul orb. Soon after, everyone was dismissed from the room. Jiang Shao, however, was still preoccupied with the haunted room. He casually asked, "Hey, old Jiang, are you sure no ghost can get into Tianji Palace?" Jiang Yu replied, "The palace's protective array has been passed down for thousands of years. No ghost can break in." Jiang Shao smirked. "Yeah, and it only covers a tiny area. Otherwise, we wouldn't be out here renting apartments." Jiang Yu's face darkened. "That array is built from the soul cores of 5 primordial grade ghosts. Other countries would kill for it." Then he realized he'd almost let something slip. Quickly, he told Jiang Shao to focus on training. Some things were better left unknown. Of course, that only made Jiang Shao more curious. It seemed Tianji Palace lived up to its name, full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. For now, though, he decided to pay that female ghost another visit tonight. Night soon fell. Sure enough, the ghost appeared in the hallway as expected, taking the form of Jiang Chan and knocking on the door again and again. Jiang Shao yanked the door open, pretending not to know a thing. "Hey sis, you hungry? Come on in. I'll make you some noodles." The ghost froze, completely thrown off by his bizarre reaction. But she quickly realized this guy was making fun of her. Her face twisted with anger as she revealed her true form, threatening him to get out of her house. Jiang Shao just grinned. "Come on, Miss Ghost, at least eat first. Your skin and bones." Her teeth ground audibly in fury. Then, to his surprise, she simply whooshed out of the room. Jiang Shao began to suspect she had no real means of attack, and that she might be connected to Tianji Palace. But the next morning, a loud "pervert" echoed through the dorm. Jiang Shao rushed into the bedroom to see what was going on. Jiang Chan stood there, cheeks red, glaring. "Care to explain all the weird stuff you've got hidden under your bed?" He looked and saw a box filled with women's underwear. He could only sigh internally. That damn ghost, this had to be payback. Jiang Zhao's eyes landed on a photo frame in the room. 2 girls smiled in the picture, but he quickly deduced the ghost was most likely Li Shihan. The other girl, Qin Mingya, and the phone number written nearby could be the key to the mystery. Moments later, a phone on the desk started ringing. Qin Mingya instinctively picked it up and glanced at the screen. Her eyes widened in shock. She hurriedly pressed the video call button. From their conversation, Jiang Xiao finally learned the whole story. Li Shihan had once entered Tianji Palace as a bright-eyed freshman, full of dreams. But she caught the attention of several arrogant heirs from influential families and was assaulted in her own dorm room. Refusing to stay silent, she exposed them publicly. Yet Tianji Palace's punishment was merely expelling those men. The young masters didn't stop. They waited until Li Shihan left the campus and took their revenge. In the aftermath, the academy's silence condemned Li Shihan to wander as a restless spirit. Qin Mingya revealed she was now the head of the Yuqing Spirit Tamers Guild and promised that if Li Shihan could be freed, Jiang Xiao could claim a red-tier spirit ore from her. At that moment, the shadow at Jiang Xiao's feet etched out a chilling line of text. The simplest way is to kill her spirit. Jiang Xiao frowned, deep in thought. Ending the ghost would be effortless for him, but doing so would make him no better than the scum who wronged her, and it wouldn't truly free her soul. He told Qin Mingya firmly, "The orb doesn't matter. What matters is, I'll handle this the right way." His investigation revealed that the Heavenly Mechanism Academy issued special field tasks daily, meant to sharpen students' combat skills. One of the culprits was scheduled to take on a haunted bus investigation tonight. A shadowy figure suddenly appeared behind him. Jiang Xiao quickly greeted him, pretending he was also assigned to the mission. The man barely looked at him. "Just don't slow me down." Inwardly, though, he smirked. If things got dangerous, this rookie would make a fine meat shield. He introduced himself as Xue Qi, a third-year student who had only recently returned to the academy. Jiang Zhao's lips curved into a faint, knowing smile. But the moment they boarded the bus and dropped a coin, funeral money began drifting through the air, blanketing the entire aisle. Jiang Xiao casually caught one of the drifting spirit notes. The gesture left Xue Qi frozen in place. He couldn't fathom why this guy looked so calm. Suddenly, countless dark shapes swelled outside the bus windows. Focusing his gaze, he realized it was another bus and an uncountable horde of spirits. Snapping out of his shock, Xue Qi jabbed a finger toward the glass. "Did you see that? That bus, those ghosts." Jiang Xiao replied mildly, "Senior, maybe you're just seeing things." The corner of Xue Qi's mouth twitched. "Seeing things, my ass. This kid's acting." Time seemed to stretch before the bus finally rolled to a stop at a station. Xue Qi immediately urged the driver to open the door. But the moment it slid open, a tide of spirits poured into the vehicle. Xue Qi was shoved back inside by the sheer force of them. The carriage was now suffocating with chilling, ghostly presence. Jiang Xiao sat there, utterly unfazed, making Xue Qi's skin crawl. Something's definitely off about him. Jiang Xiao tilted his head toward the female ghost beside him. "Hey, sister, could you go bother my friend instead? All that scratching, you're making my allergies flare up." To his surprise, the ghost actually wavered, then drifted toward the back of the bus. Xue Qi was stunned. He can talk to ghosts? Is he even human? Minutes ticked by, and the shadow at Jiang Zhao's feet began to stir restlessly. His instincts sharpened. It's almost time to act. At that moment, the bus rolled into the next stop. The ghosts inside the carriage grew agitated, their growls rumbling through the air. Xue Qi collapsed onto the floor, pale and trembling. Jiang Zhao's eyes narrowed. The Heavenly Mechanism Palace underestimated this mission. This isn't a standard job. At least a red-grade ghost event. Maybe worse. Jiang Zhao's eyes narrowed. The real mastermind behind this haunted bus was likely the silent driver up front. Without hesitation, he unleashed the white mist ghost's ability. Thick, choking fog flooded the carriage in seconds. Xue Qi's lips curled into a secret grin. Perfect. Let this fool stall the ghost while I find a way out. He cast his skill, blood-tied, letting the stench of blood mask his living aura. But suddenly, a searing beam of light struck him square in the back. Recognizing the attack as Azure Flash, Xueqi spun around in fury. Are you insane? Attacking me from behind? Jiang Zhao's gaze was ice cold. Tell me, do you remember a girl named Li Shihan? Xueqi's pupils constricted sharply. He instantly understood this was revenge. Rage boiled in his chest. If not for that woman, he would never have been suspended from the heavenly mechanism palace. Snarling, he grabbed his spirit weapon and lunged. Jiang Zhao stepped aside, letting a nearby ghost intercept the strike. His counterattack came fast, but the blade bounced off, blocked by Xueqi's hardened skin. Jiang Zhao smirked, recognizing the copperhide ability of a bronze ghost. For someone with your pitiful skill level, that soul bead must have cost a fortune. Jiang Zhao's gaze hardened. A bronze ghost soul bead goes for 130 grand. So tell me, how much was Shihan's life worth to you? Before Xueqi could answer, Jiang Zhao switched his dagger to the other hand. With a sudden, sharp thrust, he sent Xueqi flying. You can throw all the money you want at your power, but you're still trash. He lowered the blade. Don't worry, I won't be the one to kill you. There are plenty of ghosts here who'll be happy to finish the job. Terror flashed across Xueqi's face. Even with copperhide, he wouldn't survive this horde. Desperate, he clutched Jiang Zhao's ankle. Please, take me with you. I'll give you anything. Jiang Zhao's lip curled in disgust. Let me guess. Li Shihan begged you the same way, didn't she? With a sharp kick, he sent Xueqi sprawling. Every cause has its effect, senior, and I'm yours. As Jiang Zhao stepped off the bus, the swarm of ghosts descended on Xueqi. He almost turned to watch the man's fate, but a cold voice rose behind him. How does it feel to kill your own kind? Instinct took over. He spun and lashed out with his weapon. The strike was effortlessly caught midair. The figure released him without a word, striding toward the bus. Jiang Zhao blinked. It can talk. The ghost driver turned, eyes glinting. You interest me. Come with me and see where the road leads. Jiang Zhao's pulse spiked. He took a quick step back. He knew this was no ordinary ghost. Against this driver, he wouldn't stand a chance, even if he gave it everything he had. Out of nowhere, a flash of cold light shot straight toward the ghost bus driver. As if he'd been expecting it, the driver tilted his body and dodged with ease. In a low mutter, he said, So, it's here too. Looks like I won't be taking you back to my ghost domain tonight. The next second, he vanished with a sharp whoosh, leaving only one parting line. Keep the spirit coin I gave you when you boarded. Jiang Zhao didn't fully understand the meaning behind the driver's strange behavior, but after steadying his nerves, he made his way back to the dorm. There, he told Li Shihan about what happened to Xueqi, his tone firm. Don't worry. It won't be long before you're completely free. There are still 6 of them left. The day after Jiang Zhao dealt with Xueqi, Qin Mingya suddenly texted him, saying she wanted to pay him early for helping Li Shihan. Seeing how straightforward she was, he didn't hold back and asked for a bronze ghost orb and a hanging ghost orb. But before he could dwell on it, the host on stage suddenly interrupted his thoughts. The man announced that, to speed up everyone's growth, the Celestial Palace would soon open the Treasure Pavilion, allowing each person to choose one white-grade ghost orb. The crowd was thrilled and rushed to the location without hesitation. Just as Jiang Zhao reached for an orb, his shadow suddenly displayed a message. Devour a red-grade ghost orb to unlock a new skill slot. The message made his heart leap with joy. He had never imagined his life-bound spirit weapon could have a slot forcibly open this way. Still, the most urgent thing now was to upgrade the weapon's realm. He embedded the chosen black ghost orb into it. Instantly, the blacklight enhancement effect activated, branching out into 3 brand new upgrade paths. These required a bronze ghost orb for defense, a long-tongue ghost orb to increase attack range, and a pure soul ghost orb to weaken enemies with a chance effect. But before Jiang Zhao could study the details, Jiang Chan came running over, grinning from ear to ear. She whispered excitedly that Jiang Yu had secretly given her a miasma ghost orb, granting her the special ability known as Phantom Maze. Jiang Zhao froze for a moment, secretly admitting that Jiang Yu was treating Jiang Chan pretty well, going so far as to give her private training. Jiang Chan grabbed his arm and said Jiang Yu wanted her to find him once she finished absorbing the orb. Later, Jiang Yu explained that according to the Celestial Palace's tradition, after choosing orbs, everyone had to form a 5-person spirit master squad. Hearing that, Jiang Chan immediately declared she'd be on his team. But to her surprise, Ji Wang has suddenly stepped in, saying, Jiang Xiao, if you team with me, it's just us, no one else. Jiang Chan's temper flared instantly, taking it as a direct challenge. Jiang Yu quickly cut in before things could escalate. He said his goal was to have the 5 strongest students in the class team up. Lu Yuan and Li Jingning, both geniuses with 8 skill slots, were obvious choices. But Jiang Xiao immediately refused, saying those two were too unpleasant to look at. There was no way he'd let Jiang Chan hang around guys like that. Jiang Zhao's words made Lu Yuan and the others grit their teeth in rage. Being looked down on by a so-called 3-slot waste was beyond humiliating. Li Jingming immediately summoned his spirit weapon, ready to teach Jiang Xiao a lesson. But Jiang Xiao had already spotted his move. In the blink of an eye, he swatted the incoming arrow aside. Lu Yuan seized the opening and swung a massive hammer at him. Jiang Xiao shoved Jiang Chan out of harm's way, then drove a heavy kick into Lu Yuan's arm. The sharp pain forced Lu Yuan to one knee. Seeing Jiang Xiao was about to go for the kill, Jiang Yu quickly intervened. Jiang, private fights between classmates are forbidden. Jiang Xiao smirked. In that case, let's make it an official match. Lu Yuan and his group sneered, firing back. Fine, let's have a Spirit Master team battle. Moments later, with Jiang Yu leading, both sides gathered at the Celestial Palace arena. Spotting that Jiang Zhao's side only had 3 members, Lu Yuan jeered, Pathetic, you can't even find people to team up with. Jiang Xiao spread his hands. Against a bunch of third-rate trash like you, I'm more than enough on my own. Lu Yuan cursed in fury. But Jiang Yu cut him off, reminding them the rules required 5 members per team. Jiang Zhao's eyes lit up at the thought, and he called out to 2 figures in stands, with Xiao Xian and Zhao Yameng joining in. His Spirit Master squad was finally complete. Jiang Yu announced the start of the match. Jiang Chan and Ji Wang, along with healer Xiao Xian and scout Zhao Yameng, all took their battle positions. But Jiang Xiao waved them back. No need to lift a finger, just watch the show. His arrogance sent Lu Yuan's team into a frenzy as they charged with weapons raised. To Jiang Xiao, this was the perfect chance to test his current strength. In a blur, his figure flashed past the enemy, and one opponent was kicked clean out of the ring. Lu Yuan himself took a crushing elbow to the chest, staggering back with a grunt. The audience roared in amazement. He hadn't even used a single skill and still knocked them back. At the same time, a flash of green light slammed into Lu Yuan, dealing another heavy blow. Knowing he couldn't win alone, Lu Yuan shouted for his teammates to attack together. Li Jingming immediately drew his bow and knocked an arrow. Jiang Xiao reacted in an instant, dodging the shot and causing the arrow to hit one of their own instead. The sight made Jiang Xiao chuckle, mocking them for turning on each other so soon. Lu Yuan was furious, barking orders for his team to surround him from both sides. As the melee broke out, Jiang Chan was about to unleash her Phantom Maze to assist, but Ji Wang stopped her. Your brother said he could take on all 5. Don't you believe him? Though still worried, Jiang Chan chose to trust him, cheering him on from the sidelines instead. Lu Yuan smirked, convinced Jiang Xiao had finally shown a weakness. Without hesitation, he unleashed his strongest skill. To Jiang Xiao, it only exposed an even bigger opening. The 2 ultimate attacks clashed head-on, detonating in a violent explosion across the arena. The shockwave forced the 3 women to brace themselves. When the dust cleared, Jiang Zhao's taunting voice rang out. I wasn't even going full power. How are you already down? Seeing his teammates' fate uncertain, Li Jingming charged in recklessly. Jiang Xiao instantly triggered the white mist ghost's vapor form, shrouding the area in thick smoke and throwing Li Jingming off completely. In the next moment, a dark blade pressed against his throat. Seconds later, Screams erupted from within the fog. When the smoke settled, Lu Yuan and the others lay sprawled on the ground. Jiang Yu was stunned, his jaw nearly dropping. This kid had really taken on all five by himself. Just then, a figure suddenly appeared behind Jiang Shao. It was none other than Su Bai, the Celestial Palace's chief spirit master. Pointing toward the young man on the stage, he asked Jiang Yu for his name. Upon learning Jiang Shao was the adopted son of Jiang Cheng, Su Bai flashed forward, landing directly in front of him. His first question: did Jiang Shao know the secret of his own origins? The words made Jiang Zhao's expression tighten. Su Bai then proposed a challenge. If Jiang Shao could so much as touch the hem of his robe, he'd reveal one secret about his past. Jiang Shao was stunned. Ever since he crossed into this world, he'd known far too little about his host body. Though unsure who Su Bai truly was, he agreed without hesitation. But no matter how he tried, Su Bai effortlessly knocked him back with a mere raise of his hand. After several failed attempts, Jiang Shao realized brute force wouldn't work. He activated the white mist ghost ability. Su Bai only smiled faintly. Before Jiang Shao could act, a hand clamped firmly around his wrist. As Jiang Cheng's child, you've truly disappointed me. The next moment, Jiang Shao was slammed heavily onto the ground. He lay still. Jiang Chan rushed over in a panic to check on him. Su Bai also stepped forward, offering to examine his injuries. But just as his hand touched Jiang Zhao's neck, Jiang Shao suddenly grabbed his weapon and swung for Su Bai's face. Yet Su Bai's figure vanished instantly. What the? Does he have teleportation? The crowd in the stands was equally stunned, scanning the arena for the chief spirit master. He was already standing atop a 100-meter platform. Seeing Jiang Shao force him to use his ability this way, Su Bai had to admit the boy had some grit. Jiang Yu, however, scolded him darkly. You brat, daring to pull tricks on Lord Su. If he weren't lenient, not even I could save you. With that, he declared Jiang Shao the winner of the match. Jiang Yu reminded him, now that your team's assembled, you'd better start practicing your coordination. Jiang Shao promised, don't worry, by the time we head to Tsingyuan Ghost Abyss, our teamwork will be flawless. That night, he lay in bed replaying the battle in his mind. The helplessness he'd felt against a true powerhouse drove one truth home. If he wanted to avenge Li Shirhan, he had to grow stronger fast. Suddenly, a bracelet was held out in front of him. Before Jiang Shao could even question how Su Bai had entered his room, the man began speaking on his own. Back in the sealed gate Ghost Abyss, your father sacrificed himself to lock away the gate ghost, saving the entire city of Yangqing. His dying wish was to see his home one last time. I want you, once you're strong enough, to go there and fulfill it for him. Though he didn't fully understand Su Bai's intentions, Jiang Shao agreed without hesitation. Su Bai told him to wear the bracelet, saying that tomorrow he'd take him to train in Tsingyuan Ghost Abyss. Jiang Shao immediately thought about packing. Having Su Bai along would make acquiring ghost orbs and avenging Li Shirhan far easier. But Su Bai stopped him. Pack tomorrow. Tonight, you're coming with me somewhere else. After some time, a few ghosts gathered at the roadside, waiting. A bus slowly pulled up, and behind the wheel was a ghost driver. Just as the ghosts were about to board, they were instantly obliterated by some unseen force. The ghost driver didn't flinch. Instead, he smiled darkly. The Celestial Palace actually sent the Middle Court's chief spirit master. Quite the honor. Hiding in the grass, Jiang Shao recalled what Su Bai had told him earlier. Ghosts had 7 main ranks: white, green, red, misfortune, calamity, catastrophe, and origin ghost. And this ghost driver was at the very top, an origin-level ghost. The driver laughed maniacally, strange striped markings crawling over his body. Su Bai's expression didn't change. So, you really don't take the Celestial Palace seriously, daring to cause trouble in Skynet Town. With a light stomp of his foot, the ground within 100 meters fractured and collapsed. The sheer force of it left Jiang Shao stunned, his heart still pounding as the ghost driver and bus vanished without a trace. Su Bai raised his arm. An ancient bronze bell appeared in his grasp. In an instant, several golden magic arrays flared to life around him. The moment the skill activated, the entire area froze in place. The ghost driver's hidden figure slowly emerged. "You may be able to cross the void," Subai said coldly, "but once space is frozen, you'll be forcibly dragged out." Just as he was about to strike the killing blow, the ghost driver roared, unleashing a surge of violent energy. A bus burst through the void, charging straight at them. Subai barely moved, yet the vehicle shattered into pieces under his power. The ghost driver seized the opening and vanished into the horizon. "The ghosts on that bus are yours to deal with," Subai told Jiang Xiao before darting off in pursuit. Moments later, he sensed something was wrong. He quickly drew a golden talisman in the air. With a sharp crack, the surrounding space shattered like glass. "An illusion? That ghost driver's got some skill," Subai muttered before giving chase again. Left standing alone, Jiang Xiao stared blankly. "So this is origin-level power?" The thought chilled him. Without Subai, he would have been a corpse already. "I'm still too weak. Before heading to Tsingyuan Ghost Abyss, I have to get stronger." The next day, Jiang Xiao received a hanging ghost orb from Qimingya. His shadow eagerly asked to devour it, claiming it could open a new skill slot. Wanting maximum gain, Jiang Xiao tossed the red-grade orb to it without hesitation. But the moment it swallowed the orb, an oppressive force slammed into him. In the blink of an eye, the surrounding space froze. This was the orb's shackle ability, capable of slowing most white-grade ghosts to a crawl. Jiang Xiao could feel his power leap forward significantly. A new skill slot had successfully opened. He then embedded a shaman ghost orb into his life-bound weapon. It boosted Blacklight's power by 40% and even allowed it to coat his body for defense. The newly unlocked branch effect was downright broken. With these upgrades complete, a confident smile spread across his face. Even a dual-rank spirit master wouldn't be his match now. Staring at Li Shurhan's reflection in the mirror, he spoke softly. "Rest easy. They'll be heading to Tsingyuan Ghost Abyss too. And when they do, I'll make sure they pay the price they owe." From Subai, Jiang Xiao learned that Tsingyuan Ghost Abyss was once an ancient tomb, later transformed into what it is today for unknown reasons. As the two appeared at the entrance, a burly man from the so-called Violent Tiger Spirit Master Squad stepped up, offering to escort them through the ghost domain. Jiang Xiao asked if they could handle a misfortune-grade ghost. The man sneered, mocking him for being brainless, saying a ghost of that level would have him crying for his mother. Subai casually interjected, "A misfortune-grade ghost? Haven't seen such a weak ghost in a long time." The ghost domain's overseer turned sharply at the voice, respectfully addressing Subai as chief. Cold sweat poured down the burly man's back. If this masked man was from the Celestial Palace, could he actually be the chief himself? The surrounding crowd bowed in greeting, giving Subai the perfect moment to show off. Once the commotion settled, Subai explained that the first 3 chambers held white dash, green dash, and red-grade ghosts, with stronger ones beyond. He tasked Jiang Xiao with surviving 2.5 weeks in those first 3 chambers on his own. In other words, he needed the strength to defeat a red-grade ghost solo. Subai tossed him a waste token that could conceal human aura. The massive tomb doors creaked open, and Subai added another condition. Within 3 days, Jiang Xiao had to kill 30 Yellow Earth ghosts and 10 Iron Mine ghosts. Hearing Iron Mine ghost, Jiang Xiao froze. Blacklight's evolution into black armor required their ghost orbs. He assured Subai he'd get it done. But the moment Subai left, several Yellow Earth ghosts clawed their way up from the ground. Jiang Xiao smirked. "This few? Not even enough to fill the gaps between my teeth." With a single move, the ghosts were reduced to dust, just as he was marveling at his rapid growth. A wave of killing intent surged from behind. Reacting fast, he barely dodged the strike. Spinning around, he attacked, snarling, "Your orb is mine." But the Iron Mine ghost's hide was like armor. His blow barely scratched it. Pulling back to gain distance, he spotted 2 more Iron Mine ghosts charging at him. In desperation, he unleashed his green light flash, aiming to end it quickly. Even his strongest skill only barely worked. Then, out of nowhere, a dark silhouette cleaved toward his head. He managed to block the fatal strike. But another Iron Mind ghost struck from the side, its raw power sending him flying. If not for his enhanced physique, that hit alone would have had him bedridden for weeks. The battle reached a stalemate, and Jiang Shao quickly realized that his only chance was to take them down one by one. He immediately activated the White Mist Ghost's vapor form. Once the Iron Mind ghosts lost their bearings in the fog, he cleaved one clean in half. A ghost orb floated out from its corpse. Without hesitation, he fed it into blacklight for an upgrade. Moments later, a surge of black energy poured out of the weapon. A new branch skill unlocked. Seal a gate ghost orb into the black armor to gain part of its power, or equip a nightmare ghost orb to manifest a second body. The description alone was absurdly overpowered, though Jiang Shao knew pushing it further might turn him into something inhuman. Activating the black armor, his body was instantly encased in jet black plating. To test its defense, he waved tauntingly at the Iron Mind ghosts. "Come on then." The provocation sent them into a rage as they charged. The next instant, the sound of metal clashing against metal rang out. The two ghosts froze, baffled that their attacks had no effect. Jiang Shao laughed. "What's wrong? Forget to eat dinner. Here, let me show you what a real slash looks like." With a flash of steel, the two Iron Mind ghosts were split clean in half. Two more ghost orbs landed in his palm. During a break, he kept counting his collection over and over. Subai sighed. "Really? This is the 7th time you've counted them." Jiang Shao grinned sheepishly. "Bad memory, and only 26 orbs. Should have stayed out there longer." Then he asked, "Lord Su, what rank is the gate ghost?" Subai replied calmly, "Xian ghost level." Once a ghost reaches origin level, it gains intelligence and creates its own domain. Xian ghosts are even more dangerous. Jiang Shao was stunned, meaning there were beings even above Xian ghost level. When he pressed for details, Subai's expression hardened. "Only 3 exist in the world, but they're taboo. Even speaking of them can trigger strange events at night." A chill ran down Jiang Zhao's spine. This world was far from peaceful. 2 weeks later, he broke through to dual-rank Spirit Master. His shackle skill's duration extended to 15 seconds, and he could now barely take down a red rope level Hong-grade ghost. Subai approached him. "The trial's about over, but before we leave, there's one last matter to take care of." With that, he led Jiang Shao to a massive, ancient gate. Subai said he would show Jiang Shao the deepest part of the ghost domain. As the heavy doors creaked open, an overwhelming wave of ghostly aura poured out. The next instant, a chilling voice echoed in Jiang Zhao's mind, repeating one command: "Kill Subai." Under Subai's surprised gaze, Jiang Shao leapt high, roaring, "You all deserve to die." Subai sidestepped the slash with ease, instantly recognizing the ghost aura had clouded Jiang Zhao's mind. He struck the back of Jiang Zhao's head with a heavy blow. Holding his life-bound weapon, he said coldly, "Looks like your training is still far from enough." Jiang Shao was suppressed on the spot, collapsing into unconsciousness. When his senses returned, he found himself in a strange, unfamiliar space. As he looked around in confusion, a busy figure appeared before him. The door burst open, and a stern voice demanded, "Shao Yuan, have you been secretly using ghosts for experiments?" An elder roared, "You're the most gifted disciple of Qian Kuan Palace. You could enter Sanxin Palace in the future. I've taught you since you were young. Ghosts are humanity's mortal enemies. What are you thinking?" The man calmly wiped the blood from his hands, replying evenly, "Since second uncle died, I've realized human life is finite. I do this only to live forever like a ghost." The elder's fury erupted. "Ghosts are dead things. The cycle of life and death must not be defied." The man knelt before the incense altar, murmuring, "I, Song Yuanzi, will never repeat second uncle's fate. I will break through life and death and become eternal. That is my path." His gaze turned icy. "No one will stop me. Not even you, master. Jiang Xiao jolted awake, still unsure if it had been a dream or reality. When Su Bai's voice rang out, that emotional ghost's aura clouded your mind, but you managed to kill it. He handed Jiang Xiao a ghost orb and urged, "We've wasted enough time. Let's move on." Eventually, they arrived at their final destination. Su Bai revealed that inside the coffin lay the Tsang Yuan ghost. Suddenly, a beam of green light shot from within, lunging at Su Bai. With a casual wave, Su Bai shattered the ghostly attack. "Settle down," he said coldly. "As long as the Celestial Palace stands, you'll never leave this black coffin." Jiang Xiao asked, "Lord Su, why not just kill him?" Su Bai explained that Tsang Yuan ghost was special, and that Jiang Xiao would learn the reason once he entered the central court. He went on to explain the Celestial Palace had 4 branches: south, east, west, and north. Jiang Zhao's southern court was only one part, and only by winning the annual 4-court tournament could one enter the central court. After the explanation, Su Bai asked if he wanted to leave with him or stay and train until the new recruits arrived. Jiang Xiao chose to remain. Su Bai advised him to break through to Tier 3 as soon as possible, so he could enter the central court early. Once Su Bai left, Jiang Zhao's eyes glinted. Now it was time to set his plan in motion. Just wait, he thought. The real show is about to start. Elsewhere, Jiang Chan was reassuring Xiao Xian not to be afraid. "The ghosts in the first few chambers are low level. We can handle them easily," she said. But in her heart, she grumbled, "Brother is unbelievable. Coming here early without even meeting us and not replying to my messages." Zhao Yumeng scouted the area and told Jiang Chan, "The ghost aura here is light. Good spot to camp." She called for Ji Wanga to help, only to find she had vanished. Suddenly, a voice called out, "First time in the ghost trial, little sisters?" A man introduced himself as Wu Di, a second year, offering help. Xiao Xian was about to accept when Jiang Chan cut in. "No need. We can handle ourselves." Wu Di smiled. It's a senior's duty to take care of juniors. But inside, he smirked. Yang Rui said this team has 4 absolute stunners. His eyes gleamed with ill intent. Just then, Jiang Xiao appeared with a grin. "Senior sure is kind. Then please help set up our tent." Jiang Chan immediately complained about his lack of replies, and he casually excused it with, "Lost my phone." Inwardly, Jiang Xiao sneered. "The bait I posted on the forum worked. They came right to me." Jiang Chan pressed him about the secrecy. He suggested, "Tomorrow we hit the 3rd chamber. The ghost orbs there are way better, perfect for boosting our team's strength." Jiang Chan was surprised. "Are you serious?" Teacher Jiang said it's much more dangerous. "I've scouted it. Nothing too bad," Jiang Xiao assured. "Plus, if the seniors come with us, you'll feel safer." Meanwhile, Ji Wanga had slipped away to the Tsang Yuan ghost coffin. She reached out eagerly to release it. Her hand touched the sealing talisman, rotting into bone, yet she tore it away. The coffin cracked open, and a green-lit figure emerged, laughing madly. "Ghosts truly transcend all. Master, do you see? This is my path." It fixed its gaze on Ji Wanga, asking the year and her reason for freeing it. "It's 2020, she replied flatly. "I'm looking for my own kind." "Oh, over 5 centuries have passed. I've long abandoned my human identity. Of course I'm your kind," it said. Ji Wanga licked her finger. "Prove it. Do what you want to do." The Tsang Yuan ghost's eyes hardened. "Then let the Celestial Palace see me. Prove my path with slaughter." Meanwhile, Wu Di led Jiang Chan and the others, warning, "Stay close. These ghosts aren't like the ones before." Suddenly, a ghost lunged at Jiang Chan, making her scream. Jiang Xiao appeared, cutting it down instantly. Jiang Chan clung to his arm. "Brother, this place is nerve-wracking. Don't go too far from me." Xiao Xian and Zhao Yimeng huddled closer as well. "Hey, I can't walk like this," Jiang Xiao muttered. The seniors fumed. "Damn it. He's stealing all the attention before we even start." Wu Di signaled to his friends, who grinned wickedly. "Junior, since you know the area, leave the girls here and come with me to collect orbs," Wu Di suggested. Jiang Xiao agreed. They reached an open area, and Jiang Shao pointed ahead. I saw Iron Mine ghosts around here. Let's split up. As he turned away, Wu Di readied his weapon, thinking, once he's gone, the girls are ours. Wu Di struck without warning. Jiang Shao calmly caught the blade. Senior, what's this about? Wu Di froze. You're your hand. Jiang Shao tossed his weapon aside. Everyone has secrets. You want mine? Tell me about Li Shurhan first. Confess, or I'll make you, he said coldly. Wu Di summoned his spirit weapon. Confess? Don't make me laugh. He sneered. That bitch Li Shurhan wouldn't obey. If she had, she might have lived longer. A mere tier 1 spirit master teaching me? I'll show you our gap. Jiang Shao summoned black armor without a word. One punch dropped Wu Di to the ground. If you won't repent, I'll beat it into you. Wu Di, realizing he couldn't win, begged, I'll tell you. My brothers have already drugged the girls. Let me live, and you can have them first. Disgust twisted Jiang Zhao's face. Another punch landed. Scum, you don't deserve to live. No, don't kill me. Wu Di screamed. Jiang Zhao's tone was icy. Killing you would dirty my hands. How about the perfect executioner for you? A hanging ghost leapt at him, wrapping its tongue around Wu Di's neck until he was dead. Jiang Shao casually dispatched the ghost. A faint smile touched his lips. Second revenge target done. Jiang Chan ran over. Brother, you okay? We heard someone shouting. She spotted the dead hanging ghost and was shocked. Her brother could now slay a red-grade ghost with ease. Those bastards didn't touch you, right? Jiang Shao asked. We tied them up and threw them to the yellow earth ghosts. Jiang Chan grinned. Distant screams followed. Clearly, they'd been eaten alive. Jiang Shao pulled out a small pouch. It's late. Let's go. These orbs should last you a while. Just then, his shadow whispered, warning that a great terror was approaching unnoticed.
Guys, that's the end of the video. If you liked this video, please leave a comment in the comment section. Also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Like the video and share it too. Thank you for watching and see you next time again.